When I leave, I want to go out like Elijah, with a whirlwind to fuel my chariot of fire. And when I look back from the stars, it'll be like a candlelight in Central Park. And it won't break my heart to say goodbye. 1986 lyrics off the debut release from a young and unknown singer-songwriter named Rich Mullins. And while his chariot of fire will forever burn through songs like Awesome God, Sometimes by Step, dozens of other classics, many of us had felt that following the tragic automobile accident in September 1997 that took his life, we had heard the final word from Christian music's poet laureate. Several months before his death, unknown to all but a few, Rich had begun work on a new project, one that he deemed to be perhaps the most important of his career, a project that he simply called the Jesus Record. Shortly after the accident, those who had been working with Rich in the early phases of the project re-listened to the songs that Rich had written for the album. They concluded that these final musical chapters from Rich must be made available to the hundreds of thousands who had been touched over the years by his songs. And so, work on a very special project began, led by members of a Ragamuffin band, a loosely formed group of studio and touring musicians who had recorded and performed with Rich during his final years. Under the direction of producer, artist, and Ragamuffin Rick Elias, the songs that Rich had written began to take shape. Still titled The Jesus Record, the now completed album features lead vocals from Elias and fellow Ragamuffin band member Mark Robertson, along with several guest artists including Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith, Ashley Cleveland, and Phil Kagi. And from their efforts was born an album that rejoices in the reality of Jesus the man and Jesus the Savior. The Jesus Record.
I think about the shoeless man taken to an extreme. You know, most of us love the first spring day that you can kick your shoes off. But nobody had calluses on their feet like he did. And he was that way with spiritual things too. You know, most of us trying to have a brush with God, and we are enamored and frightened and pulled in, but it's always kind of that barely leaning in. Rich just had a way of running headlong into the unknown that was frightening to most of us. But in his own unique way, it seemed he always was able to find the edge and look into the abyss and come back and write a song about it and tell us what he'd seen. Nothing is beyond you. You stand beyond the reach of our vain imagination. Our misguided piety. The heavens stretch to hold you, and deep rise out the deep, saying that nothing is beyond you. Sadness, foxes have gifts, but the hope is a whole breath on the shoulders of a homeless man. And the world can't stand what it can't own, and it can't own you, cause you did not have a home. We were looking for heroes, we came looking for the lost. We were searching for glory and he showed us the cross. Now we know what love is, cause he loves us all the way, all the way. So you've been here all along, I guess. It's just your ways when you are just plain hard to get. Heaven in his eyes. In my Father's house, there are many, many rooms. In my Father's house, there are many, many rooms. And I'm going up there now to prepare a place for you where I am and where your soul will be.
The songs of Rich Mullins. Welcome to the Jesus Record radio special. I'm Jon Rivers. We're going to take a special look at the final songs crafted by the late Rich Mullins. Songs that have been lovingly recorded by the musicians that form a Ragamuffin band and a handful of friends and admirers of Rich and his music. Creatively spearheading the recording of this project was Rick Elias, the unofficial leader of a Ragamuffin band, producer of the Jesus record, and a highly respected artist in his own right. I asked Rick to start at the beginning, his early discussions with Rich about the Jesus record and the early steps taken toward completing Rich's vision for the album.
I met up with Rich the weekend before his accident. We went out to Window Rock, Jim Chafee and myself and Jim Dunning, Keith Bordeaux and a few others. Rich and I had had a few conversations over the months. Whenever I'd get him on the phone, I'd kind of nail him down on, well, we're going to do this and what do you think of this and blah, blah, blah. But that weekend was specifically about the record, so we had 2 or 3 days to really get into it pretty deeply. One of my main questions to him at the time was, who is the Ragamuffin Band? And he was pretty adamant, and his feeling about it was, this record will be made by Mark, Jimmy, Rick, Aaron, and Rich Mullins, and no one else. So that helped to clarify a few things anyway. We discussed any, ancillary personnel, and he was cool with that. I discussed with him about Tom Howard, or really almost anybody that was involved in the record. And we kept to that in the making of the record. I really tried to keep as close to that as I could from my memories of our conversation.
Rick and I talked about one of the 10 incredible songs on the Jesus record that he sings lead vocals on, My Deliverer.
Well, I know this. When we sat in Rich's Hogan that weekend, and he played us all the songs. I'd heard some of them before. I hadn't heard My Deliverer. And he played them all for us. He had a little cassette tape that he had done about a week before in the church. And he played us My Deliverer, and I remember I was making notes on each of the songs as we were going down. The first one he played for us was hard to get, and then we rolled down the tape. And when he played My Deliverer, I remember writing on my little notepad, Rick, if you screw up any song, don't screw up this one. It was so utterly compelling. I mean, there were a number of songs on the record that were that way, but My Deliverer just really knocked me for a loop. I remember saying to him at the time, I said, Rich, I think this is the heir apparent to Awesome God. And he looked at me, he said, yeah, but it's a better song, don't you think? And I said, I think it might be, just as far as the pure craft and, the poetry of it. It's a remarkable song. I mean, he does something that not many writers are capable of doing, where he goes from telling a story and taking certain liberties with the story even, and setting up the entire stage for you to be drawn into the song. And then he makes such confessional comments, when he says, I will never doubt his promise, though I doubt my heart, I doubt my eyes. And it just tore my heart in half to hear it. I love that song. It might be my favorite on the record.
Joseph took his wife and a child, and they went to Africa to escape the rage of a deadly king. There along the banks of the Nile, Jesus listened to the song that the captive children used to sing.
Deliverer from the Jesus record, Rick Elias and a Ragamuffin Band. In addition to performances from Rick and a Ragamuffin Band, the Jesus record features several special appearances from artist friends who were close to Rich, including Amy Grant.
First heard the song, Nothing Is Beyond You. Well, first I responded to the title. And what I find fascinating about Rich's writing is that you feel like you know what direction you're going in a song, how it's probably going to unfold, and you're sort of agreeing all along the way. And then right somewhere in the song, he takes a hard turn that completely refocuses the impact of the song. And what struck me about Nothing Is Beyond You is that when I read that title and the song started, yes, I could technically say, of course, nothing is beyond God. I mean, goodness, he raised his son from the dead, he parted the Red Sea. I mean, duh, yeah. I mean, we all agree with that. And then when the last line of the chorus came along, but I can't explain how you came to love me except to say that nothing is beyond you. I just, when I heard that, I laughed and a huge lump welled up in my throat. And all I thought was, once again, Rich, you took a truth that I have accepted in a very, at times, unemotional, static way, and you turned it, you shed such a vulnerable light on it that as a listener, you met me at such a vulnerable place, that deep sense of wanting to be loved. And you applied the grand knowledge that nothing is beyond God to the very personal need to be loved. That kind of impact of a Rich Mullins song, I think, is what drew people to his work, and it's what drew me to this song. Where could I go? Where could I run? Even if I found the strength to fly. And if I rose on the wings of the dawn and crash to the corner of the sky, if I sail past the edge of the sea, even if I made my bed in hell, still there you would find me. 'Cause nothing is beyond you, you stand beyond me. If I made imagination, how misguided piety, the heavens stretch to hold you, and deep cries out to deep, saying that nothing is beyond you, nothing is beyond you. Time cannot contain you, you feel eternity. Sin can never stain you, death has lost its sting. And I cannot explain the way you came to love me. It's such a thing. Nothing is beyond you, nothing is beyond you. If I should sink back from the light, I can sink into the dark. If I take cover and close my eyes, even then you would see my heart, and you cut through all my pain and rage. The darkness is not dark to you, the night is bright as day. Nothing is beyond you, you stand beyond belief. If I made a
on the Jesus Record Radio special, Rich Mullins and I talked during our last visit together about a song he'd written the night before that would make it onto this record that he really loved and was excited about. I think you'll like it too. Welcome back to the Jesus Record Radio special. I'm Jon Rivers. The Jesus Record was the title that the late Rich Mullins had given an album which he started only weeks before his death. With the help of a few guest artists, the project is performed by a Ragamuffin band, a group of musicians who toured and recorded with Rich. I asked Ragamuffin member Mark Robertson, an established artist, of course, in his own right, to comment on the song You Did Not Have a Home, and specifically how Rich wrote that song during a very busy time.
We were touring at the time. Frankly, I don't know how we had time to write it around that time, though I know he did, because we were on a kind of ridiculous schedule at that point. And then all of a sudden, one day, he shows up, it was in June, singing that song at concerts. And we're doing those, 400 or 500 mile a day drives and setting up. And Rich was helping the road crew. We were all setting up and tearing down. It was a smaller thing. I don't know how he found the time to do it. He had been, typical Rich, discussing these very topics and got kind of excited in one late night conversation. And next day at a concert, he's playing the tune.
Interesting to note that the next day when he was playing that tune was the last time that I would visit with Rich live on the air at 94.1 FM KLTY in Fort Worth, Dallas, North Central Texas, our home, as he talked about writing a song the night before, just before he went to sleep, and I wanted to hear about those lyrics.
Well, it's off the Ragamuffin album we're going to start working on this fall, which I can't wait. Those guys are such a blast to be around. So, but let's see, it's called You Did Not Have a Home, and it goes, you did not have a home. There were places you visited frequently. You take off your shoes and scratch. Because you do that at night? Do you scratch your feet at night?
Yeah, I do.
I love to do that. I found out that there's a lot of people that do that. Oh, anyway, the lyric. There are places you visited frequently. You take off your shoes and scratch your feet because you knew that the whole world belonged to the meek, but you did not have a home. You did not take a wife. There were pretty maids all in a row lined up to touch the hem of your robe, but you had no place to take them, so you did not take a wife.
Wow.
Do you think it's funny?
I love that. That's great.
Oh, good.
Any autobiographical thing going on there?
No, that's just about Jesus.
Oh, you did not have a home. There were places you visited frequently. You took off your shoes and scratched your feet, cause you knew that the whole world belonged to the meek, but you did not have a home. No, you did not have a home. And you did not take a wife. There were pretty maids all in a row who lined up to touch the hem of your robe, but you had no place to take them, so you did not take a wife. No, you did not take a wife. Birds have nests, foxes have dens, but the hope of the whole world rests on the shoulders of a homeless man. You have the shoulders of a homeless man. No, you did not have a home. Well, you had no stones to throw. You came without an axe to grind, did not toe the party line. No wonder sight came to the line. Had no stones to throw. You had no stones to throw, and you rode an ass's fall. You spread the coats and cut down palms for you and your donkey to walk upon, but the world won't find what it thinks it wants on the back of an ass's soul. I guess you had to get sold, cause the world can't stand what it can't own, and it can't own you, cause you do not have a home. Birds have nests, foxes have dens, but the hope of a whole world rests on the shoulders of a homeless man. At the shoulders of a homeless man. No, you do not have a. Birds have nests, foxes have dens, but the hope of the whole world rests on the shoulders of a homeless man. You have the shoulders of a homeless man. And the world can't stand what it can't own, and it can't own you, cause you did not have a home.
did not have a home. Rich Mullins and a Ragamuffin Band from the Jesus Record. This is the Jesus Record radio special. I'm Jon Rivers. Another incredibly talented man involved in this project is Phil Keaggy. The song he does is called All the Way to Kingdom Come. Phil talked to me about how he felt about the recording of this incredible song.
You know, we didn't know what love is until he came. And he gave love a face, and he gave love a name. And he gave love away like the sky gives the rain and sun. We were searching for heroes. He was searching for the lost. We were searching for glory. And he showed us a cross. Now we know what love is because he loved us. What Rich was wanting to tell us was that God showed his love, and he did it in the most unexpected ways. He did it in a way we wouldn't have done. You know, showing love to us sometimes means a smile on the face. It means, you know, giving a helping hand, being good to your neighbor. What Rich was telling us, the greatest love and the greatest expression of love was Jesus laid down his life for us. He's saying to us in the song, a greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And Jesus did that.
To Kingdom Come. Phil Keaggy and a Ragamuffin Band from the Jesus Record. Several weeks before his tragic death, Rich Mullins recorded rough demos of the songs on a boombox. Those demos guided Rick Elias, Mark Robertson, and the other members of a Ragamuffin band in the recording of the Jesus record that we have today. Rich's record company, Murr Records, has packaged these original demos, the final actual recordings of Rich Mullins, with the finished songs on the Jesus record. From those original one-take demo recordings on the boombox. First, here's Rich Mullins with the song Hard to Get, and then the finished product with Rick Elias and a Ragamuffin band.
Who are afraid of being left by those we love, and who get hardened in the hurt. Do you remember when you lived down here, where we all scraped to find the faith to ask the daily prayer? Did you forget about us till you had flown away? Well, I memorized every word you said. Still I'm so scared I'm holding my breath, while you're up there just playing hard to get.
Hear the prayers of those of us who live on earth, who are afraid of being left by those we love, and who get hardened by the hurt. Do you remember when you lived down here, where we all scrape to find the faith to ask for daily bread? Did you forget about us after you had flown away? Well, I memorized every word you said. Still I'm so scared I'm holding my breath, while you're up there just playing hard to get. Who live in skin. We have a love that's not as patient as yours was. Still we do love now and then. Did you ever know loneliness? Did you ever know need? Do you remember just how long a night can get? Will those who mourn be left uncomforted, while you're up there just playing hard to get? And I know you borne our sorrows, and I know you feel our pain. At the one who loves me most. And after I figured this somehow, all I really need to know is if you live in a eternity. Hear the prayers of those of us who live in time. We can see what's ahead, and we cannot get free of what we've left behind. I'm reeling from these voices that keep screaming in my ears. All the words of shame and doubt, blame and regret. I can't see how you're leading me, and I feel every year. Till I'm lost enough to let myself be led. And so you've been here all along, I guess. It's just your ways, and you are just plain hard to get.
Next, on the Jesus Record radio special, guest artist Michael W. Smith talks about his contribution to this very special project. Welcome back to the Jesus Record radio special. I'm Jon Rivers. The Jesus Record features, of course, a Ragamuffin band and some artist friends that were close to Rich. I asked one of those friends, Michael W. Smith, about his thoughts on participating in the recording of the Jesus Record.
You know, I'm honored and humbled to be a part of this record, and for me, if I can just carry just a tiny piece of the legacy that Rich left, then I feel like maybe I've done something. So maybe I felt like I was just playing a part of that and doing this record. At the same time, it's like, here I'm in here singing these songs that Rich would have normally probably been in there recording these songs at this time, and Rich is not here. And what am I doing in here doing these songs? So it was exciting. I had a great time. I was into it, and then there were moments of just being solemn and just being, I don't know, introspective, sad. It's just so strange. The man who's not with us anymore, and I'm singing his songs. I mean, I'm overwhelmed that I just even got to be involved in the project, and so I'm very, very thankful.
See the teacher sitting on a mountain, see him walking along the shore. Friends and disciples gathering around him, they never spake a man like this before. But was the man as wise as he? Weeping alone in Gethsemane. Did he know some would never see? The heaven in his eyes. See the master walking on the water. Hear him speak in calm and angry way. Look at him raising up Jairus' daughter, and with the word Lazarus comes forth from the grave. But why is a man as strong as this, being betrayed by a good friend's kiss? And could it be that maybe this man missed the heaven in his eyes? I'm not talking about the pie in the sky that you could
W. Smith from the Jesus Record. This is the Jesus Record radio special featuring the final songs written by Rich Mullins and a Ragamuffin band. I was talking to the record's producer and my good friend and Ragamuffin, Rick Elias, about the last song on the album, Where You Are, which begins with Rich's own guitar and vocal demo.
Well, it was kind of wild. It was one of the last basic tracks that we put down. And I wasn't really sure, even up to the time, I don't think, what I wanted to do with the song. I didn't really know where we should go with it. I mean, I had some ideas, but it was such a, it's such a fun song, and probably one of the most fun songs on the record, kind of a sing-along chorus and all that. And we got into the studio and we were learning it. And Aaron was out there and we were kind of working on it, Mark. And I don't think Jimmy was there. I think it was just myself, Mark, and Aaron. Ben Pearson was there. And we put the tape on to learn it, because we hadn't listened to it much. And we were constantly, it should also be noted that while we were making the record, I never made up like lyric sheets like I normally would for everyone. We used the handwritten lyrics that Rich had provided for us on that weekend before he passed away. He had impeccable penmanship. It was kind of amazing. But that we always had him before us, and that was important. I think it was a good thing. It wasn't morbid. I know it can sound morbid, but it was a good thing. And we would refer to the tape on occasion, although we didn't really stick to it religiously. Anyway, all that to say, we put the tape on. I said, well, let's play along with it. Let's find the key. And we're kind of going along, and Aaron's playing, and it sounded pretty good. And I got the idea on the spur of the moment, pretty much, to just roll it down the tape and have Aaron play to it. And then, of course, we would put our parts on, and that's exactly what we did. And what you hear there is, I think, really pretty much the first or second take. Aaron just played right along with it, no click track. I mean, it's kind of floating a little. Rich didn't make it for that reason. And I'll tell you, it was one of those moments in the making of the record where the emotion was palpable in the room. Ben Pearson, who is a very emotional guy anyway, and a great barometer in a way, kind of a truth indicator. I mean, they'll keep you pretty straight. And I remember looking over at him and Jimmy had showed up later, and their eyes teared up, and I went, wow, this is pretty wild. This is pretty cool. And it was just neat. I think it was a little bonus for all of us to be able to play along with Rich one more time.
In my father's house, there are many, many rooms. In my father's house, there are many, many rooms. And I'm going up there now to prepare a place for you, where I am, where your soul is. If I go to a place for you, I will come back again. If I go to a place for you, I will come back again.
was challenging, I mean, to finish it, but we didn't do much to it. We just put a few things on it and let it go from there. And I think it's a neat way to end the record, too. I think it gives the listener... I mean, our whole point of the record was we hope that whoever hears it has the same chance to have a sense of peace and closure, and to be... we hope they go through the gamut of emotions that we went through making it, of anger and mystery and you know, confusion and ultimately peace and hope and you know, it's kind of hard to articulate almost what I hope people get from the record, but I know these are things that we all went through in making it, and that seemed to be a nice way to cap it all off.
This has been the Jesus Record Radio Special, presented by Myrrh Records. Our executive producer was Michelle Youngman. Creative consultant Brad Burkhardt. I'm Jon Rivers. This special was produced at River Riders Ranch in Forestburg, Texas.